Alright everybody, so the next thing we're going to work on today is going to be the back paw shake, or the back paw just contact touch. This trick can lead, it's kind of just a funny trick saying that your dog can shake with either the front paws or their back paws. Another thing is also that it can lead into the peeing on something trick eventually. So it's kind of like a stepping stool for other tricks later on. Aayla, come here. Aayla, drop. Drop, yes. So that's something that can just eventually build up. And so, the way how you start, over here. Yes. So you want to start with one side, but you got to remember that both sides are independent. Just because they learn on one side doesn't mean they're going to learn on the other. I dropped it. Can you find it? Stand. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have a solid stand for this one. If the dog's always sitting, it's kind of hard for them to be able to lift up their back paw at all. So make sure you have a solid stand that your dog can stay in a stand, and they're not trying to sit constantly. Otherwise you have some kind of more basic stuff to kind of go over and work on. So what I started for this one was all I did is I would wrap my hand around the back paw, and when they lifted it up to kind of get it away from your hand, click to reward. So that's all it took. Sometimes it took a little while. Sometimes I had to grab a little harder, but I'm not trying to hurt her paw. I'm just trying to make her realize that I am holding on to it and that it is something that she should pay attention to and she should do something about. And especially holding the treat in front. If they still don't lift up their paw, sometimes you can just pull it forward a little bit. And so like they want to take a step, and since that foot's a little uncomfortable, they'll try to take a step with that one first. After you get that done, you want to wait until they're reliably picking up their foot. And so you might have to wait for a couple of times. And come here, Aayla. Come here. Let's get off so they can see a bit. Yes, right there. So you're just going to keep doing this repeatedly. Once they're reliably doing it, you want to do it by the back. And so I just touch the back because that's kind of her cue to do the trick in the first place, is I put my hand back here. And when she lifts it up, I can go ahead and give her a reward. Can you go sideways? To the side? To the side? Are you going to resist today? Can you go to the side? Yes. Good job. Okay, right there. Wait. And the next thing you're going to do is when you put your hand back there, you want them to step down on your hand. And typically that's actually going to require a lot of work from you. Trying to put your hand down where they're going to put their foot down, which is going to be a hard part. But even if they step down on just barely part of your hand, if they're touching it, that's going to be something that you're going to want to reward. So Aayla kind of tried to step on my hand, but she fell off it a little bit. I'm going to still reward for that. Because that's, anytime she touches my hand with her back paw, I want to reward her for it. So another thing I would like to see is, I have a couple of treats, and see if I can prolong that step. So if she's continually kind of sitting there, I'll kind of free feed her. So I'll kind of let her take a couple treats, and I'll give her a couple more until she steps off, and then the treats are gone. So she starts to learn after a while that what she wants is to keep her foot on my hand, or my arm in this case. I'm not being too specific because I just want the contact for right now. You scoot over. Scoot. Working on this one. Scoot. Yes. Good job. Come on. Alright. And then after a while you can start to lift it up, because originally you are going to have it on the ground just so it's a place for them to step. When they get that reliably, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to start to lift it up. And so after a while you can lift it up higher and higher. And if they stop trying to do it, they seem to get frustrated, just go back a step. Put your hand back on the ground and let them target your hand on the ground. So it makes it a little bit easier for them. Okay, come here. And you gotta make sure you do this on both sides, but when you do go to the other side, you're gonna start all the way over. You can put that paw down, Aayla, from the beginning. So you're just gonna wrap your hand around, and they lift it up. Go ahead and treat and reward. Start from the beginning. When they seem to get that, you can go ahead and have them step on the ground before you lift your hand up. Once again, if they keep their paw on your hand, you can go ahead and then just keep feeding treats until you take it away. Then eventually you can go higher. Once you feel like you got that down in a good place, you can start to add in your cue word. I actually haven't really added the cue word too much to this one because it's not going to be my end goal trick, which is going to be the peeing on something trick. I've kind of used paw a bit for this one. Paw. Because I use shake for the front paws and I use paw for the back paws. It's more of just a feeling that she gets, so it's my hand at the back of her leg that's actually for that one. And so not all your cues have to be verbal. I do a lot of verbal and hand cues. Some are just hand cues, some can be sometimes just verbal, but your dog's not always going to be able to hear you. Sometimes the place is going to be loud, or you're going to have to be far apart, or you're going to want to be quiet, or anything like that. So having the hand cues is definitely something that I really, really enjoy. And so that's it for the back paw shake. If anybody has any questions, feel free to send me a message or leave me a comment or anything like that, and I can try and troubleshoot any